Yo! Video games.
What's up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and today I'd like to talk to you about something that's been grinding at me recently. Now, this isn't a Matt rant per se, and it's a little closer to a real talk, but it's something I definitely wanted to discuss, and I think it's something that should be brought up. If you did watch my Matt rants at E3 this year, you'll notice that I focused a lot on Nintendo's Matt rant about their release schedule. In particular, the fact that Nintendo is going a full 4 months before publishing a new title for their Wii U system since the release of Mario Kart 8. Now, this title, of course, is Hyrule Warriors, which is a game that Nintendo themselves is not even publishing in Japan, but rather something they've had to take on themselves in North America. Now, while that might seem like a really noble thing for Nintendo to do, I find that there's something a little more sinister beneath the surface. Maybe sinister is the wrong word for it. Maybe the word is either lazy, short-sighted, or just plain dumb. Because the reality of the situation is, Hyrule Warriors is coming out in Japan in a week, actually less than a week from when this video is going to be posted. So for those of you who've been looking forward to the game and wanting to figure out what all the secret hidden characters and items are, well, you're gonna have to stay off the fucking internet for a whole goddamn month, because the game is going to be out and released in less than a week, and in a very short time, everything that will be known and is in that game will be released and on the net for everyone to see. Now, it doesn't just stop here. The reality of the situation is, Super Smash Bros. For 3DS comes out on September 13th, and it comes out in North America and Europe on October 3rd. That is nearly a whole month apart. Now, for me, I find this incredibly infuriating. Now, I said I don't really care about the roster being fully known before the game's released, but from our Smash Bros. Discussion video, there is a lot of people who said they really enjoy discovering all the secret characters and having that challenger approaching screen come up to them. Well, guess what? That's all going to be fucking gone by the time the game comes out, because of the day and age we live in, which is so incredibly fast-paced with its news and information on the internet. Everyone will know everything about the new Super Smash Bros. For 3DS long before it reaches the rest of the world. And what's really annoying about all of this to me is the fact that Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Europe bring in far more numbers. America in particular, we bring in far more revenue and cash for the company than Japan does. Japan is holding onto the 3DS pretty well, but the Wii U is dead over there. It is more dead in Japan than it is in America, which is crazy to think. Mario Kart 8 barely bumped it up for a couple weeks, and it just went right back down. Whereas in America and even Europe, probably because of the free game attachment, it sold a whole lot better. So to reward us, the company and regions of the world that provide the most revenue, provide Nintendo with the most sales, we have to wait our turn in line so that they can release their product in their home territory first, where it will sell the least, and then get everything spoiled by the people who are going to import it and post pictures and post information and reviews on the web. And I have to really ask at this point, why are we waiting? What point does Nintendo have to cause us to wait? Now, you could say that it takes time to localize these games, to translate these games, to distribute these games. But I have a couple counterpoints to that. Number one, Hyrule Warriors has been in English since at least June, and it looks like most of that game is in English and is ready to go. And I highly doubt that the game was going to be completely untranslated from now until its release a month later. I'm pretty sure that they've been working on that game already. For Smash Bros. For 3DS, we already have screenshots of the trophy mode in English with the full descriptions. It's not like this game is just starting localization. It's been localized. And more to the point, if Nintendo really had to use the localization takes time and effort excuse, I would just say to them, you are a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you know these games are coming, and you know their release dates long before anyone in the public or in the trade knows when they're going to be released. So why haven't you synchronized your release dates? Nintendo has done this many times before. Zelda games in the past have come out at the same time, simultaneously around the world. In fact, a lot of times, Zelda games come out in North America first, probably because we buy the game a whole lot more. So again, I question, why is Hyrule Warriors taking longer to come out in America than it is to come out in Japan? And again, why is Super Smash Bros. One of their golden gooses for this holiday season? Why do we have to wait? Why do we have to have everything spoiled while Japan gets to play these games earlier? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The reality of the situation is, if Nintendo wants to be a global company, they need to start acting acting like a global company. And acting like a global company doesn't mean you continue to use these archaic-like release dates. This is no longer the age of gaming magazines where we had to wait an entire month at a time to get little snippets of information as they came out in a magazine on a newsstand. This is the age of the internet, and I know Nintendo has been completely ass backwards with everything regarding the internet, but they need to realize it's starting to seriously hurt their company. We get information by the minute now. People who live in Japan and people who import titles will know exactly what's in them hours, just mere hours after their release. In fact, with the dawn of the eShop, people will be downloading these titles possibly at midnight Japan time, and then by the morning, the rest of the world is going to know everything that these people have unlocked. In fact, it's probably going to be live streamed. Max and I are planning to do the same thing. And to make matters even worse, despite the fact that the Wii U is doing absolutely abysmal numbers in Japan, selling in the mere single thousands a week, despite this fact, they are still actually getting more titles than the rest of the world. And of course, I'm talking about the 5th Fatal Frame game. I'll just refer to it as Fatal Frame 5. This is a title that is releasing a day after the American release of Hyrule Warriors, September 27th in Japan. But there has been absolutely no word or no hinting that this title will come out in North America or Europe, which is insane. There is no longer any third-party support on the Wii U whatsoever. The Assassin's Creed Rogue game that was announced strictly for 360 and PS3. The next Call of Duty is most likely not coming to the Wii U. And most damning of all, the remaster of Resident Evil Remake is coming out for everything but the Wii U, despite this being the title that was an exclusive Nintendo title for the entire duration of the GameCube and the Wii's life cycle. But when it's remastered, they are completely ignoring the Wii U, putting it on weaker systems and more powerful systems, and everything that can play it except the Wii U. There is nothing left but Nintendo first party on this system. Nothing but Nintendo, and some amazing indie eShop releases. I do not want to ignore them, but when we're talking in a retail space, a retail box shelf space, there is absolutely nothing left but Skylanders and Disney Infinity. And how long are they going to hold on to that? So for Nintendo to literally be co-publishing and co-developing a Fatal Frame 5 with Tecmo Koei and releasing it within a month of this video going up in Japan only and completely ignoring North America, it's unbelievably stupid. This is a title that could come out in October and would make an amazing holiday title. It would make a great counterpoint to all the humongous games that are coming out for every other console in that month but the Wii U. Titles like The Evil Within, titles like Shadow of Mordor, titles like Alien Isolation. All these great experiences that are not going to be on Nintendo platforms because they have made their platform poisonous to anyone that isn't themselves. And unlike the Wii U does not have the luxury of being this runaway success where you could say, well, we could use the money we have to put something else out on the console. This was probably the excuse Nintendo thought to themselves when Fatal Frame 4 was a Wii exclusive only in Japan, or when Fatal Frame 2 Remake came out in Japan and Europe, but not North America. They don't have an excuse. They have nothing coming out. Their system is dying. Just dying at retail. It got a nice little bump with Mario Kart 8, but it is nowhere close to reaching the levels of the PS4, and the Xbox One, despite its issues, is still going to overtake the Wii U shortly if it hasn't already, despite being available in far less countries. I think as gamers and players, people who support this company, we have a right to know just what the fuck is going on at Nintendo of America right now. Now, whether or not this is entirely out of Nintendo of America's control or not is irrelevant, because the company as a whole needs to explain why they are making us wait when we are the one who are providing them with the most cash in one of their worst periods as a gaming company. We have a right to know, and more importantly, we have a right to demand a change. The world is not as closed off as Japan might like to believe it is. If they want to play in this global market, they need to start acting like a global company, and we need to start getting the games day and date with their Japanese counterparts and not having everything ruined and spoiled and known for us unless we make some drastic lifestyle change to completely stay off the internet and all video game related websites for months at a time so we can enjoy our games spoiler free. That is not something that we should have to put up with when we're providing them with the most stable source of revenue. Let me know what you guys think, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you later. See ya, dudes!